just begin to arrive. And by arrive, just simply let whatever came before this class kind of settle in the background of your mind. And whatever comes after this class, it will be there. This kind of just settling that we can do with our mind to say, okay, that has happened and that will happen. But right now I'm breathing. So in the optimism blend is tangerine, which is a beautiful, different than wild orange. It's kind of commonly referred to in the oil world as wild orange on steroids. It has a lot of powerful brain stuff that really helps to foster creativity. It's a potent one. It has bergamot, which is that beautiful oil of self-assurance and hope. Has some lemon and melissa, more citrus. Siberian fir is what's going to ground us. All the citrus. Green mandarin is a green mandarin. It's picked before it turns orange, so it has a very earthy aroma to it. It's cheerful, but also has that earthiness to it. And the reason why I chose to fill our noses with citrus today and for the whole month is to give us a sense of hope. A hope for green, a hope for warmth, a hope for growth, a hope for blossoming. But before any of those things can happen, there's something really important that we do in the month of March. So with your eyes closed, I just want you to picture an outside space where a garden would be. It could just be a bed. It could be surrounded by bricks. It could be surrounded by little pieces of wood. It could be a raised bed. It could be just a heap of soil. It could be any kind of bed that your mind wants to let your thoughts go to. And before we can begin the process of planting anything in this garden bed that's in your mind, we have to do some cultivating. We have to do some removal of the stuff from last year. We have to remove the trash, the twigs, the leaves, the growth that's getting in the way. And before we can have optimism and hope, we have to be willing to release what's in the way, to make room for those experiences. So the same garden bed that's in your mind, imagine that existing within your soul, your heart. And the stuff that's in that space that might be taking up room could be things like insecurities, doubts, disappointments, fears, uncertainties, last year's stuff. So through this month, we're going to be focusing on a lot of cleansing and pulling out and removing those thought patterns that will get in the way of where the seeds are going to go, which will be next month's gift. So without doing anything with the garden in your heart, just know that it's there. It's got some trash, some twigs, some leaves, some old growth. We'll revisit it throughout the practice. And with your eyes closed, just bring your knees to your chest. And then just move a little bit in a way that feels good for you. I had a chance today to really think about way back in my life history, how March has been such an important time that I didn't really set an intention for it to be important. It just sort of evolved. There's been a lot of major changes in the history of my adult life in the month of March. I was thinking about it this morning. Squeeze just a little bit tighter. And then extend your right leg long onto the mat, as long as it will go, and keep the left knee tight to the chest. Interlace your fingers around the shin or the knee and just give a little squeeze. And you release the left hand and just bring the left knee over the body to the right. We're just going to take a little supine twist. I was thinking about what was the precipitating factors to these great things that happened in my life in the month of March. And I started to distill each of those experiences. And it all came down to self-awareness. I became aware of the judgment I had about myself, the hatred, the anger, the fear, the disappointment. And just like the garden, I started to pull those out and replace them with things that were more healthy and more useful. Bring your knees back to center. Bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze tight. And then the left leg's gonna slither down long onto the mat. Keep the right knee tight. Squeeze it towards the chest. And then the right hand will fall away and the right knee pulls over to the left. And so this finding the common denominator process today of self-awareness through this multiple different big life-changing events that happened in the month of March since about 2005. I realized that that's that garden piece, that's the soil that without that awareness to pull out what was getting in the way of my growth, I may have never grown. I may have just stayed cluttered, full of the old stuff. Next time you breathe, bring your knees back to center. And then just rock and roll a little bit side to side. And then front to back on the spine. Keep your eyes closed here. Just feel. And then rock and roll front to back enough to where you can roll up and over and make your way onto all fours. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders and your knees are going to be underneath your hips. Spine will be neutral. So if your eyes were open, they would be looking at your thumbs or your index fingers. And then just pay attention. Have that observer mentality where you're observing you, not so much worried about anybody else at the moment. And then picture your spine as it's sagging in the low back. Can you draw the navel up just a little bit? Not to where you're not able to breathe or you feel engaged, but you're just neutral. And we're going to shift the hips back to the heels just for a second. Child's pose, that place where we come to pause. Anytime you need to pause, it's available. We feel the stretch through the side body. Then we're going to rise back up to tabletop. In the beginning parts of springtime, if you have a garden, there's some process we do called rototilling. We turn the soil over. That helps the process of aerating and removing some of the old stuff, bringing life into the soil. So we're going to imagine our bodies in this rototiller fashion, and we're going to slide our hips back towards our right heel. And then the hips are going to go over to the left heel and then come forward over your left shoulder, slide the weight of the body to the right shoulder, and then sink back to the right heel. Just make an oval. So imagine you're tracing an egg shape on your yoga mat, and you'll just continue like this. And as you continue to rototill your space on the mat, your soil within your heart, you might find that bending elbows and twisting just a little bit, like rolling your spine around your mat starts to feel really good. Your head can follow the spine or it can hang down and have its own rototill action. And what we're doing here is bringing life into that garden in your heart, turning over, waking up this springtime, this energy where our practice changes a little bit. It evolves from being more inward to a little bit more dynamic. You'll take 2 more of these egg-shaped ovals. And then when it feels content in your body, you're going to reverse it. And you're going to turn that soil over the opposite way. Just continue to roll through the ovals. I realized way back in 2005 this morning when I was thinking about what was the precipitating things that were causing me to want this different way of being. And one of them was I had an incredible amount of competition and comparison operating in my life. I felt less than in almost every situation in my life. Not good enough, not smart enough, no college degree, no purpose other than being a mom at the time. I was completely insecure about who I was. Take 2 more. After the second one, you'll come back to tabletop neutral and sort of reset the hands, re-glue them back into the earth. Let your spine dip down with the belly coming towards the floor and your nose coming up towards the sky. So we call this cow pose. It's just that sagging belly. And then we're going to reverse that. Push against the floor, round your spine, tuck your chin, arch it way up like a cat. Feel the shoulder blades separate just a little bit. And then we're going to link our breath. So you'll inhale to lift your nose, belly falls. And then on your exhale, belly pulls in, shoulders open up, and the chin tucks. And we just find this rhythm. That's our own breath. Eyes stay closed. And we simply move, waking the body. You'll take 3 more cat and cows, just listening, tuning in. After the third one, you'll come back to neutral, just tabletop, tuck your toes. We're going to find our first down dog. The evening, it might be your first down dog of the day. And then find that organic movement that feels good. Don't wait for me to tell you because I'm not in your body. So you might pedal your feet, you might take your feet wide, you might push one hand a little heavier and feel that stretch through the armpit area. You might swivel the hips, bend the knees. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, find stillness in downward facing dog. Taking a gaze inward at the garden that's in your heart, that heap of soil that contains trash and twigs and leaves, garbage, old growth. And begin to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Springtime offers us a chance to change up our practice. We always take our feet forward. So for tonight, we're going to bring those hands back, just hang in a ragdoll. Let your knees be soft. Swing your arms side to side like vines of a weeping willow, or grab your elbows and just come into that sagging ragdoll. Don't worry about the hamstrings just yet. We're going to get there. So if they're really tight from sitting or driving or working out today, just let them be. Don't try to push against that. We'll see how this feels at the end of practice. And then let your hands slip apart if they're hooked onto elbows. Slide your hands to your shins or your knees. Make the number 7 shape with your body. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, take a forward fold. And we'll do that 2 more times. Halfway lift, number 7 shape, and then a fold. Keep those knees nice and soft. 1 more time, halfway lift, and then a fold. This time we're going to inhale and roll the spine up to stand. Try to do it with your eyes closed, imagining the vertebrae stacking one on top of the other until you get to the very top, and then the shoulders fall And you bring your hands together at your heart in what we call Anjali Mudra. So the palms connect, thumbs touch the sternum, eyes are closed. Imagine your head is floating. So the occipital bones, that are those bony little nubs at the base of our skull, are floating directly over the sit bones. And so to create that sensation of floating, tuck your chin just ever so slightly. And we pause here to tune into the garden in our heart, set an intention for the practice. Maybe there's one little twig in that garden that is potentially getting in the way of what will soon be a place to lay seeds. Something that maybe you've been lugging around in that garden for a while. And when I set an intention for my practice, I like to set the intention in the form of offering, that I am offering to myself through Anjali Mudra an opportunity to let go of that disappointment or fear. Because we have plenty of space tonight, we're going to circle our arms all the way up to the sky. Maybe open them, maybe not. Tip your nose up. Take a back bend here. Bend your elbows. Push your heart up and back. Reach back up to the sky. Take a breath. Palms touch, and we bow over bent knees into a fold. Let your hands separate. Take a halfway lift and a fold. This time we're going to circle all the way up. It's a big movement. Keep coming, keep breathing. Bend your elbows and exhale, lean back. Recreate length, take a breath in. Palms seal together, bend your knees, bow over those legs into a fold. We're going to do it one more time, a halfway lift and a fold. Circle up, big, long breath in. Start to make life in your body. Bend your elbows, exhale. Recreate length. Palms seal together and we fold. Separate your hands, take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Bend your knees, come into chair pose. Arms can be up by your ears, or you can bring your hands to heart center, which is my preference. Sink down into the legs, lift those toes off of the mat. Take a peek at your toes. We want to keep the spine in a long line. So we're not looking for jutting the chin forward. Sink a little bit more. We're going to add these two movements together with what we just created. Next time you exhale, drop an inch. On your inhale, drive the body to the sky. Take a breath. Bend your elbows and exhale. Find length on your inhale. Palms seal together. Exhale, bow over your legs and fold. A halfway lift creates space. We fold. Bend your knees, have a seat in the chair, hands rise or at the heart. Think on your exhale. Drive up on your inhale. Exhale, back bend. Recreate length, inhale. Palms seal together, we bow over the legs and fold. We're gonna add on to this, take a halfway lift and a fold. Find chair pose. Settle on your exhale. Sweep the arms behind you, palms to the floor, fingers to the back, like we're flying and taking flight. We're going to inhale, arms go over the head just for a moment. Exhale, hands to the heart. Stay in the chair, take a long breath in. Twist to the right, exhale. Stay for your inhale. Twist deeper on your exhale. Rototilling the heart, take a breath. One more exhale, spin. Come back to a forward fold. Let it go. Take a halfway lift. And a fold. Find chair pose. Bend those knees, lift the toes. Sweep the arms behind you like we're going to take flight. Arms rise just for a moment. Hands to the heart, exhale, sink. Take a breath. Twist left, maybe hook the right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Take a breath in, twist a little more. Remember, twist is like that rototiller, turning the soil. Another breath. Twist deeper. You got one more. Stay for your in-breath. Then fold, unwind the twist. Let the arms just dangle. Okay, twists are so important this time of year because we're literally cleansing and squeezing old stuff, old stuff. Take a halfway lift and a fold. Walk your hands forward, all the way forward to a high push-up position. You can stay here on your toes, or if your preference is to be on your knees, that's always an option. You'll get long through your spine either way. So imagine the top of your head reaching towards the top of your mat. If you're on your toes, the heels are pressing to the back of the floor. If you're on your knees, you're still in that long spine. Take a breath in and lower the body all the way to the mat. Lay on your belly and bring your hands to the floor. So they're going to walk outside of your mat. Elbows are going to be up to the sky like crickets. Palms connect to the cold wood floor. On your next inhale, we're going to peel the heart up, push against the floor, rise. On your exhale, turn and look to the right. On your inhale, come back to center, lift higher, heart lifts. Exhale, turn left. One more time each side, come to center, take a breath. Maybe close your eyes, look over your right shoulder. What's back there? Something in your garden. Take a breath in, center, and look left. Come back to center, lift. On your exhale, lower your forehead, hands come underneath the shoulders, tuck your toes, and you'll find downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. The right leg is going to drive up to the sky from the upper right leg into the sky. Bend your knee and tuck the left cheek under and open the hip. Okay, so we get that opening. And from this first one-legged down dog, you might circle the hip, circle the ankle, bend the knee, straighten the leg, do something, cultivating that idea of stirring up the body a little bit, trying to find some more motion than this very winter heavy practice. Next time you take a breath in, extend the right leg long. On your exhale, step it through to a low lunge. Hands are going to stay down. We're going to peel the right arm to the sky in that beautiful, what we call dragonfly twist. First time through this flow, we're going to go real slow. Right hand is high, left hand is down, turning towards the bent right knee. You'll take a breath in and return the right hand to the ground. We're going to come up to a lunge, arms go high, or hands stay down. You pick. If it's uncomfortable for the arms to be high, keep them down by your side. Bent knee is heavy in the right side. The back foot, the left one, is pressing against that back wall. We're going to sweep the arms behind us just like we were in a chair taking flight. You'll start to find there's a little consistency here. We're going to reach up on our inhale. Press the palms together at the heart. Exhale. Lean forward on your inhale. Turn to the right on your exhale. Hook your elbow over your right thigh. Maybe, maybe not. Take a breath. Spin a little deeper on your exhale. Take a breath. Feel the spine get long. Cleanse it out. Twist a little bit more. One more time. 3 breaths on this first round. We twist, twist, twist. And then we're going to inhale to unwind, come back to the high lunge, and then open up to warrior 2. So the right knee stays bent, the back foot lowers, arms go long, and we're looking at our right hand. Sink into the right leg. Sink a little bit more. Close your eyes. Find that garden bed again. That heap of soil, that immaculate raised bed. whatever it looks like to you. It might be a horse trough filled with soil, but it's your garden. Notice what's in the edges, the leaves that have been blown in from last year, the twigs and trash. Flip your right hand, reverse that warrior, find peaceful warrior. 3 breaths here as we continue to sink in the right leg. Feeling the side body open, creating some life. 1 more breath. A long breath in. And we cartwheel our arms all the way down. Frame the right foot. Step it back to push-up. Stay for the breath here. And find down dog. Always an option there to take that low to high, lowering the body, coming into up dog, or just coming to down dog. We're going to stay with just going to down dog tonight, but if you want that chaturanga experience, it's yours. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, roll the right cheek under, left hip goes high, and then find a similar movement that you did on the first side, like turning the knee, rolling the ankle, straightening the leg, opening the hip, rototilling the body. Straighten the left leg, take a breath in, bring the left foot through on your exhale, pause here, low lunge. This time, left hand peels up to the sky. We're turning towards the bent left leg. 3 breaths here and dragonfly. Every inhale will get longer. Every exhale, we might spin just a little bit, letting the heart lift up towards the ceiling. 1 more breath here. And now let the left hand find the mat. Go slow. Make your way up to high lunge. Hands can be up, hands can be down, hands can be all the way down. We just settle here. We kind of feel this upright shape. Sweep your arms up just for a second. Take a breath in. Let them sweep behind you. Exhale. Reach to the back wall, palm face down. Inhale just for a sec. Sweep them up. Hands come to the heart. Exhale. We're going to lean the torso forward. Take a breath in. This time we're turning to the left. Exhale, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Get long on your spine. Feel that twisting motion. On your exhale, twist a little deeper. You got 3 more breaths here. So we lengthen on the inhale and spin on the exhale. Twisting that soil inside of our body, turning over, creating life. 1 more. We'll unwind, come back to high lunge, belly goes front. And then we're going to open up warrior 2, left side. So this time the left knee is bent. We're looking at our left hand. Back of the right foot is getting a lot of attention and energy. We're not just letting it hang out. There's some pretty powerful stuff happening on the outer edge of the right foot. Close your eyes and take 3 breaths. I encourage the eyes closed when we feel safe and comfortable. It's always an option. You don't have to. I like to offer it because it really tunes you into what the body is speaking. Flip your left hand, reach your left hand to the sky. Up we go. That beautiful, peaceful warrior. Feel the opening from the left hip crest, that little rise of the hip all the way up to the armpit. 1 more breath here. Sink into the left leg. Take a breath. Cartwheel the arms. Return them to the front of the mat, framing the front foot. Step the left foot back to plank. Stay for the inhale. Option to lower or exhale, downward facing dog. And then drop to your knees and take child's pose. Before we create this 1 breath, 1 movement here, let's go back to stillness. Go back to your garden. Go back and just notice one thing in that garden that exists in your soul, in your heart, that in order to make space for seeds of growth, one thing, It might be resentment, disappointment, fear, uncertainty. But it's taken up space in your garden. It will suffocate the seeds. Come back to your intention. The awareness that you have. Let's rise up to all fours, find tabletop, and then we'll make our way to down dog. We're going to take that entire thing from the very top. So walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Find the folds. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Find chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, get a little bit longer. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn left. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Circle the arms up big. All the way up we go. Inhale. Bend your elbows. Exhale. Reach to the sky. Inhale. Hands seal together. Exhale, bow over your legs and fold. On your inhale, walk your hands forward. 1, 2, and 3. You're in a push-up. Stay for your breath and find down dog. From down dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Big breath. Exhale, return it to the floor. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Hands to heart center, exhale. Arms go up, inhale. Arms sweep back, exhale. Feel the rhythm here. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Right hand goes high. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way back down to the mat. Take an extra breath if you need to. Step back on your inhale, push up, and find down dog. Left leg this time, lift it. Step it through, exhale. Left arm peels high to the sky. Exhale, it lowers. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we go up. Exhale, we sweep back. Inhale, we go up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, turn left. Just squeeze it out. Inhale, back to lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, left hand goes high, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Step back to plank. Your option to lower or find down dog is yours. Drop to your knees and take child's pose. Go back inside. See the garden. We're going to take that sequence one more time through. Now that we know it, we kind of know the pace of it. We can opt to let go of judgment, comparison, and just be alive, turning the soil, moving our body. Come back to tabletop to start. Tuck your toes, find down dog. Let your hands travel backwards to your feet. Find your folds. Find the number 7 shape. Take a halfway lift. And a fold. Bend those knees, find chair pose. Hands to the heart center. We exhale and sink lower. Take a breath in. Twist to the right. Squeeze it out. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn left. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale's a big dynamic breath in all the way up. Bend your elbows and exhale. Reach to the sky, inhale. Press the palms together through your heart, the offering. Bend your knees, forward fold. On your inhale, walk your hands forward. 1, 2, and maybe 3. Stay for your breath. And find down dog. Right leg's gonna lead the way, it'll lift. And then you step forward, exhale. Inhale, come on up to a lunge. Oh, right arm lifts. Good thing you guys know what you're doing. Return the right hand. Now find your lunge. Sweep the arms back, lean forward. Inhale, up we go. Press your hands together at your heart. Exhale, stay in the lunge, lean forward, inhale. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, return to the lunge. Open up, warrior 2, exhale. Right hand flips, inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the arms all the way down. Step back to push up. Find down dog in whatever fashion you like to find it. If you need to take a break, take a break. No big deal. Left leg lifts. Step it forward, exhale. Heel the left arm to the sky. Breath in. Return it to the mat. Breathe out. Find high lunge. Exhale, sweep the arms. Inhale, up we go. Palms together at your heart. Exhale. Lean the torso forward. Inhale. Turn to the left. Exhale. Squeeze it out. Rototill. Inhale back to high lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Step back to the push-up. And down dog. This time, take the eyes forward, walk the feet forward the way we normally go to the top of your mat. Stay in your forward fold and just hang. Just hang. Take a sip of water if you need to. And then we will return into the forward folds. We have turned the soil in our bodies. Close your eyes and just let your upper body drape over the bent legs. And we're gonna heel and toe the feet a little bit wider than the hips, but not as wide as your mat. And you're gonna take your first 2 fingers, we call them peace fingers, and slip them through the first 2 toes. And press your thumb onto your big toenail. If that doesn't work in your body, you can also slip your hands underneath your feet so that you're stepping on the palms. We're coming into this, what's called gorilla pose. So the knees are going to be bent here, but we're going to dip into the hamstrings now that our body's a little bit warm. So you're going to take a halfway lift, try to straighten those legs. And then on your exhale, you're going to bend the elbows and pull the torso towards the thighs. Take a halfway lift, create that space, straighten the legs. And then exhale, bend the elbows, pull, pull, and pull. You have 3 breaths like that. I encourage you to close your eyes, tune into the hamstrings, tune into how the breath does so much of our work. And then after the third and final exhale, the hands leave the feet and we roll up super slow. Walk the feet underneath the hips, turn the palms towards the front of your mat and close your eyes. Try to settle back into the breath where it's smooth and even, not jagged and rough. So you might find that idea of an elevator within your low belly, and it's just rising up to the top floor through the heart into the throat. And then on the exhale, that elevator returns to the parking garage, slowly going through the heart, through the belly, through the navel. Take 2 more breaths like that, just finding that long inhale, letting it rise, letting the breath settle. One more big breath in. And long breath out. And return to just a natural rhythm of the breath. And you can see how some of us were breathing a little hard because of the heat that we created in the body and that rototilling of turning things over. But just with 3 breaths, we're able to come back into a quiet space. Let's play with a little bit of balance. We're going to shift the weight into the left leg. We're just going to lift the right heel off the mat. So just the right heel, nothing else for now. This is always going to be where you can stay. Arms are going to come out diagonally from the body, kind of like, not tree branches, but sort of these tripod arms that would be nice if they were touching the floor, but they're not. So we're going to start here. Just holding this, trying not to dump into the left hip. So squeezing the left cheek, lifting out of the hip. And then we're going to take those tripod arms that are at a diagonal towards the floor. We're just going to spin them around, turning to the right. So the right hand will eventually go behind you. The left hand will be diagonal away from the body. And just feel that rotation. And then we're going to come back to center, let the belly rotate forward, lower the right heel, close your eyes. Shift the weight into the right leg. Arms come out to a diagonal towards the floor, left heel lifts this time. And just feel it. So if this doesn't feel like much to you, close your eyes. And then the bodies begin to like work together. The brain starts to kick in, proprioception starts to come alive. We're going to twist to the left. So just swing the left arm behind you, bring the right hand around you and hold it. Come back to front, lower the left heel, close your eyes if they're not already closed. So that's the basic. That's where we can stay, but we can also grow it. Shift the weight into the left leg. Arms come out diagonally from the body. Right knee lifts or the right heel. Okay, so you decide. You can also lift your right knee and hold on to a railing or a wall if you have that option, or you can move about the room. Turn to the right. Maybe hook your left hand onto your right knee. Maybe the eyes travel around. Twisting it out. Come back to front. Return the right foot. Close your eyes. Okay, so we're just sort of layering this one on top of the other. Shift the weight into the right leg. Arms come out to a diagonal. This time, left heel or left knee lifts. Find your balance. Grab a wall, grab a railing, and then turn to the left. Maybe your right hand finds your left leg. Come on back to front. Return the left foot, arms down, eyes closed. So now that we've learned it and our body has a sense of where we are in space, we're going to do it again, but we're going to hold it just a little bit longer. Shift the weight to the left. Tee out the arms to a diagonal. So they're not from the shoulder, they're really facing down towards the floor. And this gives us a good sense of being able to use our arms if we need them for balance. Lift the right heel or the right knee. Find your balance here. If you just have your heel lifted, try your eyes closed. Turn to the right. Grab your left knee if your knee is up to the sky. Feel the length in your spine that we've created all evening long. On your exhale, imagine wringing out the spine, twisting a little bit deeper. We're here for 3 breaths. So we're going to inhale and find length. Exhale, Twist a little bit more. We're even getting a dynamic twist here. If our heel is the only thing that's lifted, we're still rotating the spine. One more breath here. Make it your longest inhale and your deepest exhale. Begin to wind back to front. Right foot finds earth. Eyes closed, arms travel down. Shift the weight to the right leg. Arms go out. Left heel lifts or left knee lifts. If just the heel lifts, I encourage you to stay with eyes closed. Turn to the left. If your knee's up, it's probably you need your eyes open. Get long on your inhale and spin on your exhale, hooking the right hand onto the left knee. You have 3 breaths here to find in your shape that cleansing, rototilling, squeezing out the old, getting rid of that little bit of stuff along the edges. One more. And then begin to come back to front, lower the left foot, close your eyes, and exhale. And just let your body feel that twisting. And we're going to take a giant step back with our left foot and turn towards that outside space. All 10 toes are going to be facing one direction. We're going to become a big bright star. Okay, so the arms are going to reach out from the shoulders. Imagine the occipital bones again, floating over the sitting bones. So here in star pose, we have a tendency to jut our tailbone back towards the colored wall and even jut our chin forward because we tend to always be in a hurry. So just find those little bit of cues in your body with eyes closed, tucking the chin slightly, tucking the tailbone slightly under, leaning back slightly, and just feel it. We're going to turn the toes to the diagonal. Press your hands to your heart, just as we've been in the Anjali Mudra, and have a seat on that horse, okay? So we're going to bend the knees greatly. Some people call this goddess. Some people call it horse pose. Same idea that the occipitals are over the sit, so we're not hinged from the hip. We're not leaning forward. We're leaning back, actually. So we feel some heat in the thighs. One more breath here. And then the hands are going to find the thighs. Now we're going to hinge forward, kind of like we're just getting a little stretch for the low back. Thumbs are on the inside of the thighs, just above the knee. Fingers are on the outside. Eyes are looking diagonally in front of the long edge of your mat. Tailbone is long. Take a breath in. On your exhale, turn and look over your right shoulder. Let your left shoulder dip down. Feel that rotation. Take a breath, bring the nose back to center. And this time we're going to drop the right shoulder and look to the left. Come back to center, take a breath. 2 more times each side, drop the left shoulder, look right, exhale, feel that twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop the right, look left. Maybe get bigger here. Take a breath in, come up. 1 more time each side. Back to center and to the left. Come back to center. Lift the hands off the thighs. Find that Anjali Mudra again. Legs should be hot here. So now you're probably still hinged forward. See if you can recreate the horse pose by tucking the tail under, leaning back and sinking. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. The moment that the legs want to say, I'm done, check in, tune in. Are you really done, or could you do 2 more breaths? So we're just here for 5 breaths. You've already done 2. We have 3 more breaths to go. Part of that process of pushing through that soil, that seed that has to emerge, is a little bit of discomfort. 1 more breath. Straighten your legs, rise up to star pose. Big breath in. Bring your hands together at your heart. Turn towards the top of your mat. Step your left to meet your right. Hands are going to stay in Anjali Mudra. Close your eyes. We have 1 more little twisty poo. We're going to come into eagle. It's not so much of a twist, except for our body becomes twisted like a pretzel. Right leg goes over left. Hands are going to stay at the heart just for a second. We're going to bend our knees. Okay. So there's $1 million between those legs. Squeeze them so tight. Now tee out your arms. Keep your legs crossed. Keep squatting down in that little half chair. And then take your right arm under your left and make an X. You can grab your shoulders or you can grab your palms. The hands are going to go away from the head if you're clasped at the palms. Elbows in both variations are going to lift about shoulder height. We're going to keep that tight squeeze at the thighs as we focus on the tight squeeze of the elbows. Whatever shape you've created, press them together. And then once you're here in eagle pose, see what would happen if you lifted the right toes off of the floor. Might not happen. It might just be for a micro moment. Keep squeezing. Try to lean back just a little bit, straighten the spine. So we're not looking for a hinged, we're looking for sink. You have one more breath. Inhale, unwind everything, rise up. Arms come down and we exhale. We got the other side and then we make our way to the ground. Left over right, palms at the heart. The translation of Anjali, which is what this mudra is, which is simply mudra is using our hands to create a seal, means to offer. So we're offering up that intention. Open up your arms. The left under, right? Make the X. Hands find the shoulders or palms connect. Take the wrist wrap. Either way, hands go away. Elbows rise. We sink down into the legs. Squeeze the joints. Squeeze the body. If you feel good here, stay. If you want a little tad bit more, lift the left toes off the mat. Lean back. Bend the knees more. Sink. 2 breaths. Keep that compression of the joints. Keep squeezing. Super cleansing. 1 more breath. And then we unwind. Lower the hands. Close your eyes. Sweep the arms up. Circle them. Take a final breath and exhale. The nose. Create length. Press the palms together. Our final Anjali Mudra, forward fold. Bow over your bent legs into a fold. From the fold, bend your knees so much you can curl into a tiny little yogi squat ball. Hands find the floor. We're going to stay here with a rounded spine. Tuck your chin, forehead might just touch your knees. 1 more breath here. And then our bum comes all the way down. And we peel our body all the way down to the floor. Back to where we began. Hug the knees into the chest. Separate the knees so they're towards your armpits. Take happy baby so the feet go towards the ceiling. You might grab your ankles or even the bottoms of your feet. Hamstrings should feel different. Let the spine get long here. Imagine the tailbone dripping down onto the mat. Tuck your chin so that the cervical spine is long. And let your hands slip off of the feet. The knees come into the belly. And then straighten your legs up above you. We're just going to come into a wide leg straddle. Let the legs float apart to a shape of a V. Knees might be bent here. It's no big deal. You can even use your hands to support the outer thighs so that it's restorative in some ways. We're going to come into 1 more series of twists here. On your next in-breath, cross right over left. Make an X with your legs. Bend your knees. It's a little variation of eagle on the floor. So we're here. Arms are going to be down by our side. Legs are crossed. Knees are bent. Take a breath in and just tip over to the right. Okay, so with the right leg over the left, we provide a little bit of leverage and tension for the left side. Come back to a flat spine. Straighten the legs up. Make the V shape, that wide straddle. Next inhale, legs come up. Left goes over the right. Bend the knees and drop to the left. Bring the legs back up. One more straddle. Hands go to the outer thighs. Knees can be bent here. And then slowly bring the knees into the chest. Give a squeeze to the body. And then make your way to your final resting spot. Lately, I've been really preferring to keep my spine flat by bringing my knees in like a tripod. So my feet go to the edges and my knees come in. And it seems to me that it helps release my back. That might feel great. It might feel great to come into a supine butterfly with the soles of your feet touching. It might feel fantastic to just be long. And take a final full elevator style breath where it rises all the way up through the belly, through the heart, into the throat. And then we let the elevator return. The eyes are closed and we look for any tension in the body that might be lingering, like our jaws or even between our eyes. Sometimes we have a frown that we don't even realize. So we smooth out that frown, letting the eyeballs kind of sink heavy. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth, and that creates this space between the rows of teeth. This month of March is such a beautiful time to look inward through self-awareness and see what is left remaining of last year or last decade that is cluttering up your soul, preventing any chance of anything new growing. It's time to purge the old feelings and thought patterns that take up too much space in our heart. It's right now in this month that we prepare our soul soil for the months ahead. So just as we began this beautiful practice together, in your beautiful mind, I just want you to see a garden. It might be the same garden you saw at the beginning just 55 minutes ago. It could be big, it could be small, it could be decorated with landscape bricks or boulders or logs, or it could just simply be a pile of dirt. And as you look at this dirt, you see things that are there. Maybe that old petunia or old squash is all dried up now. And there's some leaves over there in the corner that have accumulated through the winter. They're damp and they're kind of musty, and there's some twigs that have blown from the elm trees, a little wrapper. And then turn that image into your heart. And the twigs and the trash and the leaves and last year's growth, they don't all have to come out today. Just choose one. one twig that represents one feeling or one thought pattern that you don't want in your garden anymore, that is preventing growth. And imagine pulling it out of that soil or picking up a handful of those leaves and seeing the space that you've created in your garden. Sometimes the clutter that takes up so much of our space is simply a distraction. Distracting thoughts, feelings, experiences, being distracted by things. Maybe that's getting in the way. And as we continue on for the month of March, we'll continue to look at our garden in our heart. We'll continue to twist it out, squeeze it out, roll it out. We'll continue to find those things that are in the soil that are preventing us from being able to put a seed in and know that it'll grow. So there'll be no class next Monday. And then I have 2 virtual chair classes. I encourage you to just pop on, just even for fun. It's an amazing practice. It's not just for old people or injured people. It's a great workout. It's a great tuning in. It's a great practice. And then we'll resume Monday in 2 weeks, Monday evening at 5:15. I also have a special virtual sacral chakra class coming up a couple weeks on a Wednesday evening to really talk about what that energy center does for our physical body, emotional body, spiritual body. As always, thank you so much for showing up, for saying yes, for doing the work. And I'll see you next week.